Andre, how you doing, man? Okay. Okay, Eryn, if you should be able to take yourself off mute there. There we go. You should be.
That good?
Okay, and I just made you a host, so you should be able to see in the bottom middle of your screen a green button that says share screen.
Yeah.
Okay, and that should allow you to bring up your PowerPoint there, so everybody can see it. Sorry about that. Yeah, Dalton didn't get out of the last meeting, so it kept it actually kept it going, so to speak.
I was about to say, because when I joined it, it just said, please wait, and then it just kept waiting.
Yeah, that's what. And Andre, I saw you checked into Dalton's, but I couldn't click you quick enough. I was waiting. We were getting set up, and you ended up you ducked out before I got a chance to click you in because of the waiting room. And it goes in the waiting room now because Zoom put that in because of the issues they were having. So that gives us a chance to. Okay, so you should be able to. Dalton said he was going to jump back on, so he can just jump on whenever. But if you want to just, you can click click that button in the bottom middle, and you should be able to share your screen, which should bring your PowerPoint to everybody.
Okay.
Beautiful. There you go. Yep.
All right. So for this research project, I had to do an interview. I interviewed Todd Butler at Palmetto Brick Company. He's, of course, a plant manager. And they're like an industry business. So some things about Mr. Butler. He's a plant manager for Palmetto Brick. He received an education. He earned a bachelor's degree of science in business operations management. He earned that at Winthrop University, and then he got a master's in business administration, Marion University. He holds 25 years of experience in the work field. He's been working with Palmetto Brick for about 15 years, but the following 10 years or a few years, he worked at another industry plant. He's a plant manager at Palmetto Brick, and this company has been operating for 101 years of production. So of course, they've been very successful. And then some of the job duties, he supervises 68 subordinates while ensuring to manufacture a superior product that combines the highest quality materials with top-notch service. The one that he works at is in Wallace, South Carolina, and it's the only manufacturing one, but they hold 5 different business offices across North Carolina and South Carolina. So he works at the manufacturing Palmetto Brick Company. And then the company's motto is quality brick and exceptional service since 1919. All right, so some problems and solutions is technology, machinery, and equipment. They're important factors at the company, but with them being part of the production and production being a big factor at the company, there can be technical problems. So one of his, solutions that he needs to find is how to fix the problems with the cheapest and the correct preventative situation to ensure that production can resume. And that's just a picture of some of the robots at their company that they use for, to lay the bricks for production. And then there's some typical problems with employees during the workday. So to solve these typical problems, puts an employee in certain circumstances that provides an opportunity of achievement. He makes sure they have the training necessary, the resources necessary, and the help that's needed to succeed. And that's just a picture of some of their employees in the break room at lunch. So production at this company is influenced by the plant managers, the owners, employees, of course. And according to Butler, he believes that effective work is when an individual focuses his or her energy and effort to complete a task at hand. Efficient work is when an individual uses the least amount of resources to get the task at hand completed and corrected the first time. With them being at a brickyard and having numerous noise all the time, Butler emphasized that communication was an important factor. And so he believes that whenever they're communicating to and from employees, that the words should be presented through short and preciseness, and a form of communication in return should be received to relay that the message was confirmed in return, so that each so that on both hands they understand what's going to be done. And then according to Butler, leadership is a leader who is an individual who influences others. He wants to make sure that employees, believe in him as a manager, that they can trust that he's going to do the best thing for the company. And he will allow employees to direct their focus on understanding what tools and knowledges are needed to achieve the company's objectives. Of course, there's the hiring and firing process, and he emphasized the importance on the hiring. He recruits employees, through websites, recruiters, and by the word of mouth, but he particularly likes doing the word of mouth the best, just because he knows what other people view about them, because in an interview you can say one thing, but he does by word of mouth the best way. And then qualities that he looks for an employee in an interview are education, physical abilities, expectations, and desired work experience. After the hiring process, he makes sure he picks the best applicant for the company so they can be successful in the end. Along with the hiring is the firing, and in the firing process, they typically don't fire employees because of work performance out there. They usually almost fire themselves because they violate the company's policies, such as stealing, they cause negative effects within the company, or they failed their drug test that they have to pass, And this company usually, like I said, does not fire employees based on their performance level, because they usually receive previous verbal warnings, written warnings, or extra training to help improve their performance. So it's usually they terminate themselves, fire themselves. Some information that was learned during this interview was the amount of time spent creating for the planning process. They meet weekly, monthly, and yearly about different goals for their employees. And while meeting, they discuss employees have goals that are measurable and can be completed in reasonable time, and resources are available for employees' managers to achieve set goals that have been established. Some of the information that was related back to this class that was learned in the interview was how he sets his goals. The goals are specific and they're measurable. They display characteristics that a leader must possess. He displays the characteristics of a leader by ensuring employees are given quality instructions to complete tasks, and he helps to guide and lead workers in the right direction to complete the task. Future advice that Butler gave during the interview was he believes, a desired manager needs to understand their strengths while also understanding their weaknesses. They need to align tasks that display their strengths, but they need to be willing to learn how to strengthen their weaknesses from others, take advice. And then a strong belief of Butler's is to stop improving. I can't really read it because y'all in the way, but it's basically just saying as a janitor, a janitor is just important as a manager. If a janitor's missing a few days, it's gonna go to notice. Just like when a manager's missing, both of y'all gonna go to notice. It's not a starting job level, but the day as a manager you think you dictate everyone and you're over everyone, you'll stop improving as a manager. And he just emphasized the importance of treating everybody the same.
That's right. Even though you did a fine job, you paraphrased your PowerPoint just fine, because I have it up on a different screen. So you did a really good job there. Very good presentation. Had a couple comments that I picked up from your presentation as well as your reading, was that I like the fact that employees don't. This is a viewpoint I also shared, which is you take the tact that you don't fire employees fire themselves, because they've actually, at that point, they know that they're doing something wrong. They should have stopped what they were doing and curtailed their performance. So at that point, you fired yourself, because you communicated this quite a bit. And the other interesting one is he likes the word of mouth, which most people do. But just as a pointing as an aside, that's a tightrope to walk, because if you base your hiring decision on word of mouth, you're basing it on, not that it doesn't happen, but you have to be real careful that you can back that up if you choose not to hire somebody. Because I think where you find that he had issues with, you run into issues there is if you don't hire somebody and you can't say, well, you can't go back and say, okay, my friend didn't like him.
Yeah.
That may have been the basis of your decision, That might have been the basis of why you did it, but you can't say that legally. So you got to make sure that you can cover your tracks there. I'm sure he does, but I mean, that's Andre, do you have anything?
So it was good.
It was good. Okay. All right. All right. So what I'm going to do is, Andre, you're up next, right?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So I'm going to close out this meeting and I'll start back up again. That way we don't have the problem where Eryn did is, so I need you guys to close out too. And then we'll restart fresh with Andre's presentation.
Yes, sir.
All right. We'll see you in a minute, guys.
Okay.